welcome to the Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop. The Guitar Shop is officially open. If you're new to this guitar shop, make sure your hands are clean. Don't go in looking like you just got done changing the transmission in a 57 Chevy. And enter with a smile for the staff. Guitar shops are the guitar player's mecca where you can find and try out new gear and learn about it. So Daniel B, here I am, the G4V Cav Arts virtual chapter instructor and your host of this, the Guitar for Vets Guitar Shop. The shop wouldn't be complete without the Guitar for Vets guitar gurus, and that is John DeMarco. Say hi, John.
Hey, everybody.
And Michael O'Connell.
Yep, you found me. Just don't tell Interpol or the CIA, okay?
Right on, you got it. Yeah, these are encrypted videos. So we also have with us today three very distinguished panelists from the Guitar for Vets community. We have from actually near my hometown, and it's great to have him on, and that's G4V Cyber Instructor Paris Finley. Say hi, Paris.
Hello.
And
Hello.
G4V Chapter Coordinator and Instructor, Mr. Curt Collins. Say hi, Curt.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
And I call him the boss. We all call him our friend. Guitar for Vets Director, Online Director Learning is Paul Lilley. Say hi, Paul.
Fab Four.
There you go. So it's a wonderful time and a wonderful thing when you live in an era of advanced technology. How we make our music has evolved since I started playing my weapon of choice, guitar. Recording music can now be done using DAW and plugins. Drums are now electrified. Keyboards are now using computer-based programs and plugins. And for guitars, and I am including bass guitars, may the six-string guitar gods forgive me, or use tubes in solid state to digital processing has gone to algorithms. And in an amplifier that may include smartphone or tablet, Bluetooth tech, and iOS, Android platforms top off the fun for that. For modern guitarists, the gear landscape has shifted from heavy one sound tube boxes, such as that one behind me, to digital ecosystems. Today, you'll likely choose between smart amplifiers designed for home practice and learning, and modeling amplifiers, which are professional tools built to replace entire rigs. We'll have a guitar shop event one day taking a deeper look at modeling amplifiers. But as it goes right now, I'm going to show you my little rig that I use. And as soon as my scroll starts working. So this is where we begin to look at what is the right setup for your needs. So I'm going to do a little camera switch here. And didn't plan on doing any playing today. I was just doing some practicing. And this is my Line 6 modeling rig coming up. There it is. Can you highlight that for me, John? Put me as the speaker. Hello, hello, hello. I'm not the speaker. Why not?
We hear you fine.
There we go. Oh, nope.
I can see your rig.
Okay, everybody sees that now, bigger? Okay. This is my Line 6 150. It's a Spider 4. The Spider 5s have changed quite a bit. It don't seem to have as much control on the front panels, but they do have iOS, Android capabilities, Bluetooth with a smartphone or a tablet. So the idea of this is I have some pretty good control. I can have I have 16 channels that I can choose from. There's 4 presets in each channel. Those are all programmable themselves. And on the pedal board, this is what they call the short board with a volume pedal in it, or it can be a wah if I push down on it. This bottom row right here are the presets, and then this controls the gain or a fuzz pedal. This is the modulations, which would be chorusing or phase. I can even get a pretty decent univibe effect out of it. Tremolo is also in there. And then delay and reverb. And then on top, there's 2 other functions. And there is also a looper. That's that light you see blinking on the amplifier and on the footboard. So we're going to go into this a little bit heavier later on. And did somebody ask me something?
Yeah, just wanted to ask you, Daniel Harris here. Those so you set the reverb, you set the delay using your phone interface or laptop interface or tablet, and then those switches just switch it on and off. Is that
Not on this one.
okay?
Not on this. This predates the Spider 5. When the Spider 5 came out, and not much after that, a lot of other amplifiers followed, including the Spark amp, which really set a revolution in how amplifiers are perform. And y'all are going to learn that today. So let's see. There was one other point I wanted to make about the modeling amps. Yeah. Oh yes. Line 6 was the first to come out with modeling, and then a lot of other companies started doing the same thing. Right now, modeling is really out there, and most of the newer amps now are starting to have a combination of the modeling with a phone app or a tablet app to go along with it. And one of the best examples I can come up with is just the recent release of the Mustang GTX 100. Very, very versatile amp, and you get a ton of sounds out of that. The thing with modeling is that the way the algorithms are set up, it's more of a real sound than with the smart amps. So it's because of the way the algorithms and the processors are in the smart amp versus the modeling. So let's start this off. I'm thinking, let's see, what we did, we flipped a coin and we chose Curt to go first to ask Curt how he is approaching his Spark amp. So are you ready to go, Mr. Curt? There
I'm
you
ready.
are.
Yeah. All right. I can change my view so I can show you. There. Ta-da! The Spark. I run it through an iPad. I also use the wireless control pedal so I can switch between the different modeling amps that are available in it. You can also run the onboard looper using the pedal. You can also run it through your phone, but I'm finding the iPad works really great for this. And with the battery pack that you can put in this thing is completely wireless. You don't have to be plugged into the wall. This is, wireless, runs on the battery. This runs on the battery, of course, your iPad or your phone. And then I use a wireless connection to the guitar.
Nice.
Yeah. So you can totally take this with you and set up in the middle of a field and have a party.
So Curt, when you're setting up your app, are you concerned about how or what order the foot switches go in, the effects would go in?
The Spark app is pretty much set up where I can't really change the order of the pedals in the line, but you can change the pedals that are in that line.
I got you. Okay. That's cool. And so you had said you're having issues with tone?
With tone, when you bring up a certain pedal, let's go ahead and change my view again. Go here and here. Well, we don't want that one, do we? There she is. When I go in and I've got, say, this pedal up, I've learned that it's very sensitive when you're trying to adjust for your pedal setup.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
being that I don't have much experience with it, I'm pretty much new to this. I thought, oh, you need a lot, because you want it to sound great. Well, no, you need to really back that off and be careful in your adjustments on how to set it up. But if you don't have a good understanding of how each pedal works, each setting in it, you can really mess up your tone. And I can sit here for hours trying to set it up, but I'm not quite sure how to get it just right.
Is there is some online support, but let's find out if we can help you with that today. All right. So let's see, who was next? We thought Michael was going to go next. Michael, are you done leaning against your brick wall?
Yeah, why not? Okay, so go ahead.
Michael's going to demo building a tone from a clean to an overdrive. Is that what you said you were going to do? Or is that something
not
about...
Quite.
Not quite.
I was going to demo tones. All right.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
So I was going to demo this thing.
Right. Now,
okay, good.
Wait,
good.
Before we go on farther, Curt, that was a Spark 2 that you had?
Correct.
Okay. And this one is the one that Michael is showing is the Spark Go?
That's the Spark Go.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so this is the Spark Go. Just a little bit of basics here. It has three key, well, unless you want to use a backing track, but it's got a little button on top, a little gold button. It has 4 slots or 4 patches, and you can push that and go between the 4. It has the input jack for the guitar, and it has a headphone jack here. And so this is really good for just sitting on the sofa practicing. But let's say you want to go to a jam session or something else, or you just want to plug into your amp at home. You just get a little 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter, run your cable to your amp or your PA or wherever you are, and you get the same tones but out of the big speakers. So this is very convenient. I could throw it in my gig bag. I could take it anywhere, and then if somebody's got a PA, then I can plug right into it and get bigger sound.
Nice.
One of the things we could do, Daniel, is show Curt, right? We're going to help him
Right.
how to get more tones, and therefore everybody can watch that happen.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you some tones. I'm gonna show you some tones right now. Let's see where we are. We are on whatever number 1 is here. Let me turn that big volume knob to make sure it's turned all the way up.
Oh, very clean. Yes.
Beautifully clean. I'll push that button again. Little tremolo. You all hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Then we can go to a little bit. These are all acoustic sounds I set up. Right? You get a lot of reverb on that.
Wow.
Right? And then go. So all that's coming on a little tiny box.
My goodness, I think I need one of those.
Well, like I said, take it anywhere. Now there are some tweaks you have to do because it's a small sound unless you're on one of the overdrive settings. But you could throw an EQ in it and you could boost the volume on the EQ to get volume out of it. Because if you take some of the out of the box tones, they're pretty quiet. Like, the tremolo would be quiet and such. So that is it in a nutshell. It charges. You can play it while it's charging. It's got a battery. It's got battery operated. And yeah, what else can I tell you about it?
Now, one thing I do know, Michael, is that they have a full range flat response speakers in them.
Yeah.
So they have a pretty good quality of sound, which is not unlike, just having a plain regular cone speaker.
Right. Yeah, they tune. It's all tuned up for.
Yeah,
for the
it's very
size, the
nice.
speaker
So
size. It is. Yeah.
it helps with the tones and gets out the bottom, so you have that full range.
Yeah,
Hey,
and you'll
Daniel,
see
quick question.
as we get into the software, helping Curt there, how you set some of these tones up.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, that's my little demo.
Question. Hello?
Yep.
Michael, do you use the app with it?
I use the app with it. Yeah, typically on my
So on your-
iPhone.
On your beautiful Carry On Wayward Son voicing, the high gain song,
Mm-hmm.
do you have the noise gate on, the first pedal in the chain?
I know it's in there. I'd have to look and see if it's actually engaged right now.
That really high gainy sound had a really nice meat to it, but it had like that, the noise gate really kind of compresses some of the extraneous stuff you don't want, which is really
Yeah. I think it is, and in this case, there's a lot of high gain in that, and so you get all sorts of noise coming out of it.
And
So
so
I
like-
haven't tweaked it. Somebody created this online.
Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes, again.
I got just a quick question for Michael. Was that just the sound coming out? Was that just that little speaker playing through a microphone?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So Paul, maybe if I can't get some of that noise out of there, I'll ping you.
Well, it's good. Yeah, I was going to say that the first pedal option, if you're choosing the noise gate, even if you have, it has a threshold. What
Right.
people don't like about the noise gate, especially with the first two voices you had, so these nice, clean, chimey sounding voices where you have a lot of reverb and delay, maybe even some chorus, those notes just bloom.
Okay.
The noise gate cuts that off. So
Yeah,
people end up
yeah.
not liking them, but the high gain ones, they're wonderful because they compress that top down. They increase sustain. It cleans it up a little bit. if that's
Okay. Okay.
the way
Yeah, I'll
to
take
think
a look
about
at it. Thank you.
I was going to ask on the first few cleaner sounds that you played, because this is all subjective. When we say, I'm looking for, quote, a good tone,
Right.
there isn't a standard for that except what we're hearing between our ears. But I was curious on those beautiful, interesting, like few ones that you did, if Curt thought that sounded good.
Yeah, those first tones sound real nice. I like
Have you
that
been
classic
able to-
telly sound.
And have you been able to match that with what you've had on the 40?
No, I haven't been able to set that up on mine to get that clean tone like
And Michael, you're just using a preset?
No, those three a little tweaked. So I pulled the presets and then I tweaked them a little bit, primarily to boost the volume on them, but maybe cut back on some reverb. Yeah, so there are probably at this point thousands and thousands of presets that people have created that you can then scroll through online, deposit them into one of the settings in the Spark 2, which I also have, has 8 patches. This has 4. You can save those off and reload them at will. And so that allows you to tweak some settings in one and then keep the original if you want, and then go to whatever tweaks you put into yours to try it out. Yeah, the only downside to the pedal arrangement is that in the chains that I use in my MacBook on MainStage, I can arrange the pedals in any order I want, and so there are reasons you do that. You put some pedals before others, or you might want to try some different tone, different style of sound coming out. You swap pedals around, but before or after each other. You can't do that here. The slots are fixed. You get a certain set of pedals, like modulation pedals always go here, right? They never go
Right.
before the overdrive pedals and things like that, which makes sense most of the time, but sometimes you just want to move pedals around and you can't do
Make
that.
your own sound.
Right, make your own sound, right. Put your reverb before some other type of right effect. But other than that, I mean, for what it does, gosh, you could play with sounds all day long, and that's the risk of things is you keep trying out sounds. But there are filters. You can say, give me blues, show me all the blues sounds that people have posted. These folks, right? The Spark people have their own, tones that you can download. Factory tones, I think, is what they call them. So, yeah, no, it's actually this is a fun little toy. But like I said, I could plug my adapter into it, or run a cable to a PA, and you'll hear that off the PA. So.
Very nice. So, Paul, would you like to put your 2 cents in here? Give us a little demo on how you're using yours.
Sure. I didn't go through the sound test.
That's fine. Little louder on your guitar.
Actually, if you know me, Daniel, my guitar is at 10. I got to do it on the amp.
Get a volume pedal.
So
I highly recommend volume pedals.
I got the one after the Go and before the 40. It's the Mini. So it's just kind of the 3 dials. I could get my presets. So these would change the where am I over here? These would change the voicings. There's my guitar volume. And this says music. So if I'm running Bluetooth and running a song with it that I'm playing with, I could just turn the volume independently up of whatever song I'm trying to learn or play against, or a jam track or something like that. So it's a very simple interface. The magic of these for me, a lot of it is just what you can do with the app. I don't have this great setting and double camera system here, but I was just going to show you a little bit. So it comes with 4 presets, and the presets generally are a clean setting with a little bit more drive than what I'd call a dirty setting. So a clean setting with a lot more drive. And then I think what they call intense, which is a setting with a lot of gain on it from both the amplifier and pedals. So you kind of saw his interface. It's a really fun interface where these are all modeling amps. They can't use the real names of the amps, but they have the kind of the sounds of, if you want a Marshall amp, if you want a Princeton, a Fender Princeton, if you want a Vox sound, you can get these through their modeling. There's a companion PDF somewhere out there on the web that has all of the amp choices, and there's a lot of them, and what are the amps are actually modeling. And then this was the kind of pedal settings where we have the pedals before, which would be the noise gate. There's a couple choices. This says comp on drive, but there are other choices like I think we saw with Curt, he had, what's the pedal where you could adjust the EQs, which is a really great pedal to have, by the way. And that's in the front of the amp. So it literally, what they're showing, it's on one side of the amp. And then if you scroll, you have the amp. Now, each of these have an interface also. All of these buttons, as Curt showed, we could turn the volume up or turn the bass up or turn the middle up. And if you're not used to it, the finger movement is really slight. So it's kind of got used to getting the touch sensitiveness of it. And then all of the time delay pedals will be behind the amp. So reverb, delay, and modulation. So I'm just coming to you from like a MacBook. So this is like a really dirty tone. I've got a Tesco amp that I'm modeling that's just what came with the preset. And even with that, I could turn the pedals on and off if I just want. I could clean this amp up quite a bit. In other words, I would say this is past crunchy, this is more dirty. And even staying with this amp, I could choose a more cleaner amp, like a Fender Princeton, and start there with a really clean sound. Or I could take even a Marshall or some of these heavier ones and turn the gain down on the virtual knob here and just turn the drive pedal off. And I'm starting with the cleanest platform I can. So when I'm playing around with the sounds on it, well, I guess let me just go through the 4 presets real quick so you get a feel for the different sounds. So this is Fresh. This one's called Fresh. Ton of reverb and a ton of delay, I can already tell. I would turn that down, but...
Are you using less or more, Paul?
I'm on more Paul, of course. So really good for individual notes. The notes really bloom. The next is what they call mild. So we're going from fresh to mild. So they've dirtied it up just a little bit. Then we have, and again, this is just a pre-stock sound. You could go a deep dive. You could adjust all the pedals. You could adjust the amp if you want. This is the hot setting. And then this is their insane setting. And this is why I'd want a noise gate on it, because it's going to be like really jangly. See, that's really trebly and spiky to me, so I'd spend some time. Well, let's just do that. So I think this is one of the PRS amps. And what I'm going to do is just turn the gain. Well, actually, let me see if it's got a pedal. It's got a drive pedal. So I'm just going to turn that pedal off and see if that doesn't help with some of the saturation. So here it is with the pedal on. Yeah, it's still got a lot, so I could go into the amp. And now I'm just going to find the gain knob. I'm going to leave the volumes. Most of these amps have a gain and a master volume. And the more you turn the gain down, sometimes you have to compensate because you're actually hurting the overall volume. But I'm going to take my gain, which is at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And again, it should just clean up the sound a little bit. Too little trebly for me. You know, if I'm going for that Jethro Tull vibe, I'm going to take the treble now. And again, some people like to leave the amp settings alone, and you could do all this with the pedals as well. Just try turning that down a little bit. Now that sounds massively different to my ear. I don't have the high pitchiness. I don't have the ice picky thrills on there.
Big difference.
So that's just a real quick, and you know, it's just this little speaker. I probably should have had these pointed towards the laptop, but I didn't. Any questions on that? Oh, and the most important thing I would tell you, I'm going to just show you the most important feature on this. The tuner.
Yes.
Got a really nice tuner. Very visual, and the guitar's most important thing before they start exploring the other sounds.
Paul, now we were talking, and you had mentioned the cloud settings on there. How do you access the cloud?
Well, again, the app is kind of the doorway to all of this. I do believe if you've created an account with Positive Grid, you can download off of their website these, but it's really easy when you go right into the app because it's all integrated. So there's a little cloud right.
Oh, yes, I see it.
And so what I did, if I'm connected, let's say I'm trying to learn a Foreigner song. And I got a Gibson Les Paul, which is what Mick used, but I don't like that sound. I don't have the Foreigner sound. So if I just put in Foreigner, I'm going to get a whole bunch of different options. And I actually could put the name of the song, and you could see Urgent, 4 and 4, Hot Blooded. There you go. That's what I was doing. So again, these user tones, some of them are really good. Just keep in mind, I know one of the things when I was new to this, it really frustrated me, and it was a me thing, not a technology thing. I thought it was a technology thing, but even the presets on here, the same thing. If you're going through the presets, right out of the box, you plug your amp in, the volume levels aren't set. So you could be on preset 1 playing and you like it, and then you switch to 2 and all of a sudden you're blasting your ears, and that gets really frustrating. It's the same with a lot of the user ones. They're matching their sound to different volumes when they hit save. So when it gets to you, they may have the master volume way up, but that's all really, it's just one finger and a slider. You can take care of all that if you're not afraid to. And part of the fun of it is, and I'm not, I used to be one of those that spent too much time adjusting sound than playing my guitar. I've actually gone kind of full circle where I'm getting very simple of give me an amp and a few pedals and I'll play. But this sure is a lot of fun. I use this a lot for teaching. The local Guitars for Vets chapter, I'll use it on jam night when we're learning a song together. It's got a great Bluetooth. All of these have great Bluetooth speakers. So I'll set it on a chair in the middle of a circle while we're learning Knocking on Heaven's Door, and we'll listen to the Dylan version through this. Because with the app, I could pause it, I could start it, I could rewind it, all from whatever chair I'm sitting in. It's just awesome. It's also got a feature if we're learning the song together, and I had the visuals for everyone. Through the app, you could go to YouTube and put in Bob Dylan, Knocking on Heaven's Door, and through the app, it will go play the YouTube song, but it will add at the bottom of it the chords going across. So obviously, if you go to YouTube and look up a song, they're not doing that for you unless the person actually imposed them on the video. But this has some technology where you can just kind of, it provides the chord progression at the bottom of the YouTube video. It's also got an AI feature that it's kind of like, instead of going to the user cloud and saying, give me a foreigner sound, I could just ask in the app that I want a certain sound or a certain artist, and the AI gives me 3 choices to try out right from the app. So everything's right at your fingertips. I don't have to move. I can adjust everything, whether it's amps or pedals or sounds, even managing playing to a backing track or using a YouTube song or a song from my Apple list. I often will play right from, because the speaker doesn't care what's coming out of whatever you're connected it to. So you're not just tied to YouTube or music that Spark provides. It's music that's available to you on your system. So,
hey, Paul,
yes.
Are these features that you're describing something that's free with the purchase of the app, or is it an additional cost?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way Spark does all of their amps is you buy the amp is free. And it stays free. There's no monthly subscription, at least as of now. Once you buy the amp out of the box, you're not paying a monthly cost to use their app or to get updates or anything like that. The user community is all free. The downloads are free. They're not charging you for X number of downloads.
That's awesome.
So it's free.
I wanted to mention, Paul, that on the AI feature, if you've tried this, you can describe a tone that you want. And then if you want to tweak it, you give the AI, you say, put a little more reverb or a little less gain, and it gives you, it changes the tone for you. So you can tweak it that way as well.
And that's a good point, Michael, because some of us don't like to tweak a whole lot with our fingers and stuff, but we do like to say, hey, do this for me. And then you could hear it and you could say, no, make it sound a little bit more like this. And the more descriptive you can get. Now, the AI is still relatively new. It was a little clunky when it first started. Obviously, as with all AI, it's getting really good.
Yeah.
And the trick with all this AI is the more descriptive your prompt is, the more likely you'll get kind of what you're asking for. So even if you're not one of those that, I don't want to carry an iPad around, I don't want to do the app, I'm not that type of guy. If you're just opening the app to use the AI feature, you can command your amplifier that way. Were we able to get Paris hooked up or no?
No, I can't play, but I do have a couple of things I'd like to share. If you
Please do. Please do.
So I have the Spark 40, which was the predecessor to the Spark 2. And the app that for that looks a little like this. See how close I can get here. it- One of the things I like about it is that it's organized a lot of the out of the box profiles by genre, big broad strokes: pop, blues, rock, metal, alternative. And one of the things I found useful was finding out when I'm working with somebody, well, listen to these and listen to this genre and listen to this genre. Which one do you feel more comfortable in right away? And so that kind of narrows down out of the hundreds of profiles that you could possibly listen to. That narrows it down. The other thing that I really think is actually worth mentioning is that these profiles really are very different if you change your guitar. Like I play a Telly, but I also play a Dan Electro, one of these guys, triple lipstick, very bright. I play an acoustic uh, Taylor mahogany, which means midtones, great. But so when I switch the guitars, my hands and the guitar are the beginning of the sound chain. So that's really what you need to do. You need to try some of these with your the different machines you're using and see which ones work for you. The other thing is that I mean, I don't know how everybody does this, but I got a cheat book. I've been building it all my life. And now that I have the Spark, I kind of go through the cheat book and I'll make little annotations down at the bottom about which profiles are good with this song, with which instrument, like D for Dan Electro, T for Telly, and so on. And I find that doing that saves me so much time because if I suddenly go, oh, what profile should I use in this? And I start hunting, it's really whale steak. You lose your appetite. There's so many profiles.
That's a great
So
idea.
those are the things that I've kind of fallen into. Um, I would definitely recommend if you're getting into this that you try a profile that's in the pop, a profile that's in the alt, a profile that's in rock, and a profile that's in blues, and start with that and just kind of get your ears attuned to what these profiles are doing. The other thing is that, and this is the last thing I wanted to say is that the pedals, the pedals in the row, yes, we can tweak those pedals, but you can actually swap them out too. If there's a particular pedal profile that you really like and that you've used before, you can find that. You can put that pedal in that profile, save it as a custom, and now you've got the pedal that you really like for dealing with compression, whatever. So those are a few of the things that I've discovered working with it.
Very good. Hey, Paris, or any one of you guys, y'all hearing me okay? Okay. Uh, the order that the pedals are in, does the programming or the algorithms or whatever put the pedals in the right order that you would do? Because you wouldn't want to like a distortion in between your chorus and your delay. You'd want it in like either the front or the back. So am I wrong in assuming that they just go in any order that you put them in?
No, I think, I could be wrong, but I think all of the time delays are going to be
To the back?
Yep. And then the drive, the comps, the wahs, the noise gate, and the equalizer are in the front of the amp, I believe. So I don't think you could take like the delay and move it to the front of the chain.
Okay.
But I'd still say be careful there, Daniel, because there's a lot of still argument about what's the best order to put pedals in.
Well, sometimes you're right. And sometimes I'll put my distortion in the front instead of the back. But I do always keep my delays and my time to the back, being the last. You know, yes, Paris.
One more thing I forgot to say, and
Yes, sir.
this is really putting the tail on the dog from what Paul was telling us, is that the volume. When you switch profile to profile, the volume can go from comfortable, perfect for the room you're in, to scare the cats out of the room, to clear all the red squirrels within 3 acres. So you really want to turn that volume knob down before you put a new profile in.
I was going to just ask that. So it doesn't have any kind of level control, like other than the volume knob.
The profiles are really built to be, I mean, if I were making a profile or you were making a profile, I know what you do. You'd say, oh, I want this at volume 7, I want this, or in Paul's case, 10. And so that's what they're doing when they make their profiles. The other thing is that there might be a profile that's 2 or a 3. So, you go from one of the ones I like is Royal Crown. It's very clean. It's really simple. It's got a little reverb and a little delay, but not a lot. If I put that in and then I go to another without turning the volume knob down, I'm gonna lose neighbors.
You know what I would do if I actually had one? Is I would definitely put a volume pedal in between me and the amplifier.
Yeah.
Because it would make sense. Yeah. So Curt, have we helped you so far with creating tone?
Yes, the AI feature sounds like something I need to get in there and tweak with and play with. Tell it the sound that I'm looking for, and then if I've got a sound up, I can say, like, add the reverb, take out the reverb, and kind of play with it that way.
All right. Now, the other question that I had for you users is the EQ, the multi-band EQ. What is that? 8 bands, 10 bands? Michael?
I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, it's pretty. You get a number of bands there, I think. Paul.
Yeah,
so one thing you want to, go ahead, Curt. You were saying
this has 6 bands on the one I'm looking at.
A 6 band. Okay, now one thing you want to do when you're playing with an equalizer, it's with any equalizer, whether it be a stomp pedal or if it's on an amplifier, you don't want to use radical changes from 0. Unless you're trying to do it for, like, your listening pleasure of music itself. But for a guitar, you got to be careful what you tweak and how much you put into it, because it can really mess up your sound. Yeah, that's a nice curve. I would be a little less on the high end, Paul, but so I like a little MIDI, more of a MIDI sound, but that's me. Yeah.
I was going to also tell Curt, plan B, if you are tweaking the sounds and you're using AI and it's still not sounding good, then we all know collectively the answer is you got to buy the right guitar.
That's right.
Not the amp's fault.
And Curt,
you need another guitar.
Curt, you really don't have enough guitars.
No. It's funny. I just went out and bought one last night around 11:30.
Oh my God, Curt, you're horrible.
It was a deal I couldn't pass up.
You're so addicted. How many you got now?
It's criminal. It really is.
No, it's not. How many you got?
I have like over 30.
Yeah, my luthier's got you beat, but that's okay. Wow. That's only because he was sponsored by Ibanez at one time. So I have one thing to share for you all. This was something that Curt put up. Where's my share button? That Curt had shared with me, and I thought I'd put it up. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Y'all see that? All right. Let me bring it up full screen. You got it?
Yep.
Okay. And this is, I guess, when you go through the various effects, it'll tell you, like, these are the compressor pedals that you have. These are your overdrive pedals or your dirty pedals. They actually do have, my favorite right here is a model of the Big Muff the Electro Harmonics Big Muff, but they got some great tones here, some great stuff. And then the amplifiers that you can use. I'm assuming we got an orange amp somewhere. I think I saw like a Marshall, a Sound City or something like that. This would be the Marshall, and a Mesa Boogie, which I think would be either this one or this one. Which one would be the Mesa Boogie? But anyway, oh, there it is right there.
It says based on right down there in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And I
is,
shared this PDF in the chat.
yes, sir.
Daniel, for people who may not be familiar with amp profiles because they haven't been playing for 40 years and have seen most of these amps in actions, this is one of the places where AI can really, really bail you out.
Oh,
You
I
can
bet.
You can just you can punch in your song. You can say what amp. Here's the song I'm looking for. This is the band I'm looking for. This is the tone I'm looking for. What profile amp should I be using? And it'll tell you right off.
Well, they sure do have a pretty good selection of amplifiers and the speakers that go with it. Now can you select your speaker? You guys that use this? No,
No, you
it's just
can't.
whatever's on whatever the amplifier is, the speaker that comes with it. Okay.
Yeah, there's modeling equipment that allows you not only to pick different speakers, but the placement of the microphone. I mean, that's what I mean. It starts getting like,
Oh, that's really great.
chasing tone. You could spend a lot of time chasing tone.
Right. That I would say would be a Fishman instead of a Fish Boy. Really funny, some of these names. And, they got some great pedals. I went through this thing and I was like, wow, this thing is really loaded. And so they have some ways of doing your workflows and stuff. There is a full guide, which I checked out. Right now, it won't let me do it because I'm on what we're doing. So there's so much that you can do with these Spark amps. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking at it just to have one to play with. It just
They're
looks
really
like
great.
a fun toy. What do you think, John?
Oh, it looks like a lot of fun. I was actually going to share. You guys did a nice job getting through all the. Let's see here. Where am I want to go? Well, here I can do it. Here I can do. I can do a screen. Here we go. I was just going to share. You guys were showing the amps. They actually have got a headphone, and I'm actually kind of interested in this one just because I've already got a couple of amps, but it might be fun just to plug into some headphones basically and have the same power. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, just throwing that out there that that's available too. And from what I read, it looks like it's got all the same amps and presets, etc. So that could be a lot of fun too. Although for $224, you can get one of the amps too. So
Just get a cheap pair of headphones.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So, the reason I wanted to add the modeling amp part of this whole thing was to show how this is going, the direction that technology is going for guitar players, that's available for guitar players, whether it be performance or just for your own enjoyment. It's getting so that the AI market is starting to really take over in how we play and what we play, and our ability to choose tones, which is what we're really searching for. And you can create your own tone out of this whole thing and keep it, and then it's yours. So this is what's really great about it. You're not stuck with just the one amplifier sound. For somebody like me that started out with when I started playing in bands, I got the Marshall, and then I got the multi-effects processor, which really took a lot of tweaking to be able to change the tones of the Marshall, but still have the power that I needed for the type of bands that I was in. So, anybody want to talk on this? I mean, let's unmute and let's have a discussion about how you feel about the way technology is going on amplifiers, going on guitars, because there's a lot of guitars that are being built with integrated effects and all that too now. And there's different synthetics now that are being used, or different types of wood that have changed the very sound of the guitars that we play. Anybody?
All right, here's the guitar I want then, Daniel.
What's that?
I want the one that no matter what I'm doing here, it's playing the song I want it to be playing.
Yeah, and that's available. And that is available.
You know, I may hit the wrong note. Now it comes out great. It sounds just like the original.
What was I looking? I was looking at one. I was looking at one that was like that did that.
No. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you hit a bad note, it would correct it. It's like an auto, like for vocals, you have the auto tune.
Auto tune. Well, I could put auto tune on my guitar if I wanted to, but not that much auto tune.
I forget the name of the guitar brand that did this, but it's a lighted fretboard with dots that light up for where you should place your finger. So if you're learning the Carry On Wayward Son solo,
right,
it would be lighting up the individual notes on the fretboard.
Oh my, yeah.
Pressing.
It's it's incredible the way that technology is caught up with how we present music and what we can do with our guitars. And there's one person I really, really want to talk with, and he is a G4V member, but I haven't seen him lately, and I forget his last name. His first name is Warren, and he has synthesized guitars, and they're amazing what you can do with them. So, I mean, he can...
Those are the ones that don't have strings on them. You just move your hand up and down that fretboard.
He has one of those, but no, he uses strings. He has, what happens is you can buy guitars that have like a big 17 pin.
Yeah, it's a MIDI pickup. They have MIDI, literally.
Right. And
you can do that. Yeah, you can do that in software now.
Yeah.
Right. So I can just run my jack into my MacBook, right, running that software, and it converts it to MIDI in a very in as subtle way as you want it to, and then I can run that into synth. So I played violin, I've played organ, right?
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
It's incredible. Anyone, go ahead and unmute yourselves, folks, and please comment if you will. Nothing?
Well, I like how you said that you just make small movements on your dials or your EQ, not big ones in here. I've been sliding the whole thing down, so make small movements.
Yeah, the biggest mistake that people make, most beginner guitar players make when they get an overdrive pedal, is turn all the knobs all the way up.
Go to 11.
You go to 11. And, it's the worst sound in the world. So it's all about, a little discretion and how you move. Small increments is the best way to go. Even with your amplifier, setting your amplifier tones. Like I like to do is any amp that I first got, I would set everything to 12 o'clock. And then go from there. And then knowing whatever it is I'm going to be playing, for whatever the show is, whether it's a Southern rock or a metal or a blues, there's going to be different tone settings on my amplifier itself. I very rarely mess with the guitar. my guitar tones or my volume is always up. My tones are always up. Once in a while, I'll back off on my volume just to take some of the, like if you're playing a distortion, if you back off on your input into the distortion, it'll clean it up a bit. But other than, using the my selection for pickups, which is, like with this guitar, like with a Strat style, you have the 5 positions. There's tones on all those positions.
They're very different.
Very different. And, the classic Eric Clapton is like between the neck and the middle pickup.
Yep.
For blues, I like to use the neck to bridge pickup in between that selection. So,
Hey, Daniel,
yes, sir.
I love that tip about amp settings and putting everything at 12 o'clock. There's a guy that talks about testing out the amp. Now, this isn't like guitar tone and pedal tone. This is more your amp.
Yes.
But it starting with everything at noon and then going, say, to treble, turning it all the way down, playing chords while you're turning the treble up and sweeping it, and then finding what feels good there, then moving over and doing the same, taking the bass all the way down and then sweeping it up. I would just suggest for yourself, Daniel, to add in one more tip. In addition to putting them at 12 o'clock, before you start playing, try unplugging the amp.
Say what?
Try unplugging the amp. I've heard you play before.
Uh-huh.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Gosh, you guys are too serious. So
He went a mile for that one, didn't he?
took a while to land that plane. So Chris,
I thought you were kidding, and I wasn't sure.
Chris M in the chat said Fretlight and Jam Zone guitars both use the lights.
Yeah.
Fretlight is integrated with Guitar Pro and Ultimate Guitar Pro. And then Michael, he also wanted to know what the name of the MIDI program was called.
Okay, that is MIDI guitar, MIDI guitar.
Oh,
MIDI is a musical instrument data interface.
Interface, yeah. Let me see, make sure that's it. It's right here. Yeah, MIDI guitar. So there's MIDI guitar 2, and then there's MIDI guitar 3, which is out in beta right now.
And basically, MIDI is more of a control than it is anything else. It controls devices.
MIDI is a language, and
I was just going to say.
So what happens is it sends something that says like a PC, a program change, right? You basically control, so there's no PC. This is all CC and a couple of other things when you're playing guitar, but it'll say it'll tell the synthesizer, here's the note you just played. It will bend, right? So if you want to play a stringed instrument, it will bend for you on whatever the instrument is. It's polyphonic, so it'll listen to all the notes at the same time. You could play your orchestra that way. It is very cool. It's more. So MIDI is really simple. It says CC3, CC5, right? CC writer, No, MIDI's pretty. It's a little more complicated, but MIDI's pretty straightforward. Anybody can understand what MIDI does. All you have to do is know in the software that you're using what MIDI message controls each of those controls.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to, the messaging.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, it's cool. So you asked me once how long did I spend on this stuff? And I said I spent hundreds of hours learning how to control my setup, the software, the MIDI, everything else, the pedal, and the MIDI pedal, and now it's pretty straightforward. But yeah.
It's a lifetime, when you start learning to finally capture in your hearing what the tones are that you want. It takes a while for you to actually adjust things depending on what machine or what amp you're using, what guitar you're using. Tones are very, very sometimes elusive. but yet once you have it and you feel it, it's yours, you know? So anything else, anybody got anything else they'd like to input here? The floor is wide open.
Well,
Well, I was just going to talk
I'm
about.
inspired to get one of these amps. I'm about to delve into the electric guitar world.
Right.
So,
Welcome to the dark side, brother.
Yes.
I was just going to say to Curt that anything that that I've done in the past with pedals or sounds on the Mac, any of the plugins or whatever. But two things that I do, which is look for a profile or a preset that I like the sound but not quite perfect, right? And just tweak from there. And then the other one is, get a fresh rack up there and kind of have everything at 12 o'clock noon, but just start with one pedal at a time, right? And think about what you're going for. Are you going for a dirty sound? Well, then you maybe want to start with your distortion pedal. Are you looking for something brighter and kind of more sunny and kind of vibey? Well, then chorus or something like that is maybe what you fire up first, and then tweak around that. But it's like Paul says, you can basically spend your whole evening tweaking sounds and never get to a song if you're not careful. And so that was one of the other things I had to learn, which was sometimes good enough is good enough, and play some songs, because then when you actually play a song rather than just chording, oh, okay, that delay is way too much when I get to the chorus, or it's that kind of stuff that pops up. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, I have to say I've spent, I don't know about hundreds of hours, Michael, but I've spent dozens of hours chasing tones, that's for sure.
Well, one of the things that I did with the Spark is I went through a wide, I don't know if I surveyed all the tones, but I went through a wide variety of tones. I looked for dirty tones. I looked for vibey tones, right? And I literally tried them out. You can push the little button that says, what does it sound like, right? And I picked from each of those categories like 2 or 3 tones, put them in my favorites, narrowed it all down. So now I have a good base of tones that I enjoy.
Right.
And then I can pick from those or tweak those, right? But I just surveyed the whole thing. 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, next tone, and then favorited the ones I like, and then then cut some of those out, and that allowed me to kind of to know what was out there and pick some that would work for me.
That's the very approach that I used when I switched over to modeling, and I can do a whole 4 hours of playing in a band when I played in a band with just 4 settings, and just by hitting shutting off something or turning something on, because I have that's what the nice thing of my system, that I can tweak as I'm going along. Plus, I'm switching guitars, so again, each guitar has their own tones, and you use it just for certain things. So
That's where I really like this Spark. Once I get a tone, say it's for acoustic, then I can save that preset to like bank number 1.
right,
And then if I'm grabbing the telly, I set that up for like number 2 on bank number 1. And this has 2 banks on it. So you've got 8 different setups you can have. One amp, you just grab either the telly or the acoustic or what you're doing and
yeah,
switch to that sound.
And it's been a while, but that used to be when you are searching cloud tones, some of the creators actually are telling you what guitar they're using when they're making it. So if you really want that telly sound, in addition to searching in the cloud telly sound, you could almost find users that gave you that sound using a Telecaster as well, which would help.
That's great.
all right. Well, at this point, I think Paul, it's time for announcements. Do you want to do them, or would you like me to do them?
I don't know if I have my cheat sheet here.
Well, that's okay, because your cheat sheet's going to be wrong.
My cheat sheet is you. Tell us what we have coming up, Daniel.
Okay. We next Saturday or next Thursday It would have been Saturday. Usually Saturday is when we do the workbench, the Guitar for Vets workbench, featuring our good friend Michael. I'm not Michael. Sorry, John DeMarco, and with his crew, Matt Lawrence and Leif Peterson. They're going to be doing Thursday because it's Memorial Day weekend, and of course, everybody always has plans on Memorial Day weekend. So it's going to be at Thursday at 8:00. The posting is already up in CavArts, so have a look at that. Then we have, and I thanked Megan for helping us out, Paul, with the office hours, which will be on the 25th. No,
I thought you had this.
I did have it.
29th is the 29th is the last Friday. If that's
The 29th. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
You need Daniel and I for a complete show because I can only do about half the stuff, and Daniel's a little bit better than me.
Yeah, no, it's the other way around. Paul always has a little better. But we have office hours on the 29th. And for those of you that don't know what office hours are, we have some great discussions on all sorts of different things concerning guitar playing, CavArts, songwriting. It doesn't matter. Just come on and have a chat with us. It'll be me and Paul.
And not sorry to interrupt, Dan, but for the next office hours, I think we're going to have a special guest who's going to demonstrate the program Suno, S-U-N-O.
Oh, yeah?
It's an AI program that
Cool.
helps write songs. So this gentleman has written 3 or 4 songs, and Suno can give you the voice. It can give you, again, as good as you are with the prompts, you put in indie, folk, double harmonies, and then you put your lyrics in, and it'll give you a couple choices. So he's a songwriter, but he uses Suno to do the melody for the voicing of it. So he's going to demo that program.
See how we work as a partnership here? It's a give and take.
I just take it.
And Paul keeps taking. And then the best show that I think we have is at the end of the month, and that is with Mr. Danny Smith. And this is Bluegrass. What do you got coming up on that for us, Danny? You got to unmute. There you go.
This month we have, we're going to learn to put together a solo for Blue Ridge Cabin Home. It's a staple bluegrass song, and we're going to learn how to take the melody and then add some licks to it and turn it into a really fun solo.
Danny does an excellent job with that event. So, and then of course we start into the next month. Will be the first Thursday will be iJam with Mike Kelly, and I actually did participate in the last one, and or attended the last one. I was the host for it, and what a great job Mike does with it. So that's a good time right there. So,
One more thing, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Can you spotlight me?
Sure can.
This is a shout out to Daniel.
To me?
To Danny Smith. I needed to tell you guys, G4V is not, we have no relationship with the Spark amps. So there's no kickbacks. There's no promotional things happening.
I forgot to do my disclaimer.
And in fact, I would say if you're interested in the Spark amp, pros and cons to this, but you will find them very, very cheaply in the used market. Spark put out a ton of these amps, and they're all over the secondary market, and they're deeply discounted. The problem is when you do that, though, you have to then get it registered so you could get all the presets. If you buy it used, you're getting all the user stuff on there if they didn't put it back to factory settings, and most of them don't. But, Danny, I just went on the Tone Cloud, and I searched bluegrass. So there's even some bluegrass, and I forgot to tell you the little red numbers there, that's how many people downloaded it. So if you could filter it by the most popular ones as well, which sometimes is an indication of a good sound, but I thought we'd go full circle and I'd end with bluegrass and Spark.
Perfect. All right, so I didn't do our disclaimer, so I'll do it now. Please bear in mind that our discussions are based on our experienced opinions, skills, and knowledge. Every effort is taken to verify any information we put forth. Any references to brands is for demonstrations purposes only. We at the G4V Guitar Shop have no affiliation with any of the brands we mention or use. So thank you for joining us today, everyone. I'm putting a closed sign in the window. The Guitar Shop is closed until we meet again. On behalf of the Guitar Shop staff, we'll thank you all for joining us. Remember you can pick your guitar for health and happiness. Guitar for Vets is a 501c3 non-for-profit dedicated to providing relief to struggling veterans through the healing power of music and community. Since 2007, Guitar for Vets has served at-risk United States veterans impacted by PTSD and other service-related trauma through our unique 10-week structured guitar instruction program, putting the healing power of music in the hands of our nation's heroes, helping to foster renewal, connection, and community. Namaste and be well.